I've been speaking about how to safeguard your marriage against infidelity or emotional affairs. And the first point was avoid secrecy and the deception that will lead and develop because of secrets between you and your spouse. Point number 2 is, this is where we are at the moment, is to be careful in conversations. And I said that conversations are what starts us off on the slippery slope of developing emotional relationships or an emotional affair with a person other than your husband or your wife. So it is within the intimate conversation that seeds are planted for creating lust and passion. And as I said before, conversations and intimate conversations, we need to see it like a kind of foreplay, because this is where the emotional side of sexuality is also triggered. That feeling of belonging, that feeling of she understands me, he understands me. It is within a conversation that we show our respect and admiration for others. So you would start to compliment this person and flirt a little here and there, and then normally the conversation would develop to an sexual, a place of sexual initiation, and where sexuality will be activated. This is the thing about conversations, that we also explore each other in a unique way by sharing deeper secrets, maybe from your heart. One of the women that I've counseled said she's just started to tell this man, "You're the only person on the earth that knows this secret about me." Now, I mean, this is something only your husband needs to know, women. Not the other wives, other women's husband, or not another man. But we need to open ourselves for good conversation with our own spouses and share the deepest parts of our life and the secrets with the man or the wife you are in marriage covenant with. This is a very important thing. Be careful in conversations. Be careful what you say. It is with words that we express our feelings for other people. Words have power, and power creates passion. This is important. Conversations is an aphrodisiac. It is a form of foreplay, as I said many a times, but I want to emphasize it because I don't think we realize how powerful our words can be and how it can create a feeling in the other person's being that they might not be able to contain or control or harness. We need, especially women, your voice tone, the way you look at people can really become an aphrodisiac, and it can leave you in trouble. The third point I want to make is to monitor time and closeness. Most affairs occurs between friends. I mean, in neighborhoods, in churches, and in the workplace. I've been ministered to so many couples where one of the couples started to gym. And in the gym environment, where everything is all about self and my body and my fat and my leanness and my fatness and whatever, and all the mirrors and all this stuff, many of the people I have ministered to started this emotional connectedness to another person in gyms. So this is really an area where we need to be very, very careful. We spend more time with our, we are talking about monitoring time, but to spend more time with the guys at the gym where you practice, or with your co-workers, spending time after work, have a quick drink like some work environments do, or have a quick chat at the car, just spending half an hour chatting half an hour away, is actually robbing your spouse from what could have been a lovely time of intimate conversation between the two of you. Sometimes it even seems we spend more time with our children or the friends, the lady friends, or the friends, than with our spouses. Time is important. It is in time spent together that relationships takes root and grow. So if we make a decision to spend more time with people outside of my marriage, and I neglect my husband or my wife, just know this is a sure um, breeding ground for trouble. It begins with a conversation, laughter, and shared experience. So time and closeness and laughter and conversation must be one of the highest priorities in my relationship with husband or wife. There's another snare. It's internet. There's a lure that I call a lure of the internet, where on Facebook, for instance, people connect in Messenger and they start to talk, and it grow into more intimate conversations, and out of that, many divorces happened, many betrayal came, and many infidelity in relationship, in marriage came. So internet is absolutely a lure. The computer screen, I mean, listen, this is such a secret place of sin, such a secret place where you can have emotional relationships with people. It's an email. It is nowadays, you can have WhatsApp on your computer, you can have Google Plus, you can do a Zoom, you can do a Skype meeting, you can do, the computer can become a place of emotional connectedness, and we need to be aware of that. Don't start off with WhatsApp conversations and complimenting somebody, sending little kisses and faces with hearts. It's a wrong message, although at this stage maybe the motive in your heart is right, but you cannot send little hearts, faces with hearts, kisses to people of the opposite gender and expect them not to read the message in that. And you know what? You can be drawn to an affair like a drug. I mean, if you feel unfulfilled in your marriage, instead of sorting it out, instead of developing the romance between you, instead of growing in your softness, growing in your way of sharing, you can find an affair you can be caught up in it like drugs. Bind people, bind their minds. It can become like a drug to your mind. Emotional affairs dumbed you. It will make you, dumbstruck, as they said. It will take you to a place where you don't care, literally care about your spouse. You would want this. This is what I want now. To recognize that work can be a danger zone. Many times I thought maybe it will be very, very, very good if people put up like signs, a motto, stay alert, don't flirt. I've ministered to so many people that developed like this little flirt relationship at work, and it makes you feel good, but it's evil because this will just lead to deception and it will lead to destruction. It will lead to hurting your husband or your wife, and it will lead to hurting yourself. Hurting yourself. I've ministered to this one lady. She started a business, and then she got a much older partner in a man. I think he was 15 or 18 years older than herself and much more skilled in this thing of emotional affairs. So she ended up in a place where they started to see each other in hotels, in the foyer, drinking coffee, drinking tea, having a sundowner together, but discussing work-related issues. After work, in her husband's time, in her children's time, in his wife's time. And then this thing developed. It developed from an emotional affair to a sexual affair. And her husband found out. And at that stage, she actually thought, but this very successful older man will leave his wife for her now. And she got the shocker of her life when he told her, you were nothing more than just a one-night stand. And you know what? She ended up in my council room, and we had to deal with so much pain and the effect of her broken relationship with God, a broken relationship with herself, for that matter, and with her husband and the children, because at that stage everybody found out. And it all started off as a work relationship, and then it developed to a coffee drink relationship, a sundowner relationship, and it ended up in bed. And this is the snare, because an emotional relationship starts off innocent, not planned. We need to hear this today. The fourth point is commit to honesty. There is a card. Actually, there is no one trump card for preventing affairs. Or, let me state it in a different way. Monogamy is not the trump card. And a decision to have monogamous relationships is not a trump card for preventing an emotional affair. But honesty is to make a decision and to commit to always be honest. Honest to yourself, honest to your spouse, honest to where you are emotionally, and to take that back to your relationship, your covenant relationship with your husband. 1 Peter 1 verse 13 to 15 says in the Passion Translation, so then prepare your hearts and minds for action. And in a different translation it says, girds up the loins of your mind. So prepare your hearts and minds for action. Stay alert and fix your hope firmly on the marvelous grace that is coming to you. For when Jesus Christ is unveiled, a greater measure of grace will be released to you. As God's obedient children, never again shape your lives by the desires that you followed when you didn't know better. Instead, shape your lives to become like the Holy One who called you. And one of the things is to commit to honesty. Gird up the loins of your mind. Prepare your hearts and mind for action. When Satan throws this thing in front of you, when he put this beautiful red apple with a worm inside in front of you, your mind has been trained. Your heart has been trained. You have girded yourself up, and you have safeguarded yourself with a word, with integrity, with holiness, with a desire to serve God more than anything else, with a desire to bring your marriage as a sacrifice before God, as a beautiful offer, a beautiful fragrance before God, and as a commitment, when you make this commitment to honesty, this will help you to safeguard yourself against the snare. And this snare is lurking out there. It's there. You can, it can, emotional affairs can also happen in good marriages. Just know this. Make a commitment to sharing your deepest thoughts, feelings, fears, and triumphs with your partner, and only with him or her. Reveal as much of yourself to one another as possible. Don't keep secrets in the closet, skeletons in the closet. Be open. Whenever there's maybe a man in your workplace or your church place or whatever that gives too much attention, ask your husband, come with me, let's go and befriend this person. Let him see we are happily married. Let him see I don't do anything without you. So this is just to safeguard your marriage. We are mistaken when we believe that our religion or our marriage covenant will protect us against this. It's not true. Or the fact that we have children or work together. It's only a workplace relationship. This is not true. It's a snare. Beware. Or because we love each other. Maybe you can say 100 times to this person, you know, I love my husband, or I love my wife, she is like this. But if you open up for this emotional attachment between you and the opposite sex, I can guarantee you something evil will develop from this relationship. Many times I've seen this thing where people became close friends and they lowered their safeguard because they believed that their relationship is an exception and it's exceptionally strong and strong enough to withstand emotional relationships. But I've seen the trap over and over, and how devastating this trap became in very good personal friendships and destroying personal friendships. We all need to make a priority to create boundaries that makes marriage safe and the most satisfying intimate relationships possible. So when we set up godly boundaries, it will also help us to grow a satisfying intimate personal relationship. And just know this, affairs can occur even if you and your spouse have a good sexual relationship. It can, because an excellent intimate relationship is not necessarily a reflection of a strong and healthy emotional relationship. Important to note this. But emotional relationships is likely to happen when partners have grown apart and lead individual lives, when you don't do anything together, when you don't have common hobbies or common activities that you do together. This is a dangerous scenario in marriage. You need stuff that you do together. Or when marriage has been neglected in favor of other pursuits. So if you neglect your marriage for your career or your studies or golf or hunting or the girls and tea or whatever, we need to understand that it's very important to build strong emotional relationships in marriage. In marriage, it needs to be a focus point. It needs to be a growth point forever, because it will never change. If you neglect your emotional connectedness with your partner, you will tend to open up for emotional relationships with opposite sex in the workplace, in the church place, in the sport place, in the gym place, or wherever. There's emotional connectivity checklist that I've put together. The first one is, do you monitor or maintain emotional closeness in marriage? Do you take time out, bath together, chat hours away, with candlelight and bubbles, having whatever conversation, not necessarily a sexual one, not necessarily leading to intimacy, but it can, it might, it's beautiful if you connect emotionally, if you share the day's stresses and joys and breakthroughs and failures, and from that place a more intimate atmosphere creates. So this is one of the things: monitor, maintain emotional closeness. Do you reach out to your spouse when you are down? Or do you reach out to other people? Do you have the freedom to go home, to connect with your spouse, to reach out, just to lie on his lap, just to go and ask him, just hold me? All I need now is a long, long hug. What a terrible day, but I'm so glad I'm with you. I'm so glad I can just fall into your arms. It's important to reach out to your spouse when you are down, not to reach out to your boss or your colleague, or to reach out to people at the gym, but to go home, fall in his arms, fall in her arms. Just go and sit your feet up and ask her to just be there for you. Bring your coffee and just ask her, sit next to me. We don't need to talk. I don't want to talk. It was a terrible day. I just want to get rid of this negative energy by your positivity next to me. Do you feel more able to the world, able to face the world when your spouse is on your side? Do you feel more able to face difficult circumstances, to face the financial challenges? You know, I'm just something in my heart now, to face menopause, to face when your intimate life started to change because of menopause. Do you really feel you can take the world on with your husband and your wife on your side? This is a very important checkpoint on the list. To see if you are emotionally connected and if you are emotionally strong and healthy in your relationship. Then the last thing, don't give up. Get into this thing. Take it like you take a bull by the horns and say, I want to be honest, this is where we are, but I want to build this emotional connection with you now. And you know what? Many people divorce and they say they want to start over. They want a new life, a new relationship. And sometimes they are 24 years married, 30 years married, 15 years married, 8 years married. Why not start over with the love of your life, the first love? And come to a place and say, can we close this book? Can we divorce our past instead of divorce your husband or your wife? And can we say to each other, listen, let's get back into this thing. Let's just build a strong emotional friendship, and then let the intimate side develop from that. Just take a week or 6 out. Take time out with each other, not from each other. Take time out and say, listen, let's connect emotionally. Let's just connect in a way we've never been connected. Maybe your relationship started off on a sexual note rather than an emotional note. Then you have a problem. Stop, build your relationship, connect emotionally, learn to trust each other, learn to share your private stuff with each other, learn to share your challenges, learn to share your joys. Don't use all your words at work and when you come home you have nothing to say. Spare the intimate things for your husband and your wife. And this will safeguard your relationship. And lastly, make time to pray together. Make time to study the word together. Make time to connect properly, emotionally and spiritually. And this, I believe, is one of the ways, as Peter said, that you as a couple together can prepare your hearts and minds for action. I want to close with a testimony. One of our friends, and they are a very strong couple, he came to me and he said one day, he said, Amanda, you know what? One of the ladies at work told me, do you want to see my beautiful legs? And he told her, no, my wife has the most beautiful legs I can think to see. So no, I'm so sorry. I really don't have any desire to see other legs than my wife's legs. And this blessed me so much because it showed me the connectedness between him and his wife, how aware he was of the beauty of this woman, and she is beautiful inside out. But most of that, how he desired to protect his wife. Emotional affairs, infidelity, will leave your spouse exposed, hurt, and actually broken. But if we make a decision, and that decision is to emotionally protect each other by not having any emotional relationship outside of our marriage covenant, to be honest to the world, honest to yourself, honest to each other, we will build strong marriages, strong covenant relationships. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it means something to you.